Welcome everyone's Gray Shirt Guy. I'm Rock the Gray Shirt as always. It's the 16th of April 2023. It's a Sunday and we're going to be doing a studio update showing what I painted, kind of how I rearranged the house, what I'm working on, and talking about things like that to kind of accommodate it to where me and my fiance can spend time together while we do hobbies that are similar but maybe not similar, but given our space so we can be like in proximity because yeah, I think that's kind of like the good intro. It was my birthday about a week and a half ago, so I'm getting much older. But aside from that, I think we're good. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll show you what I painted. All right. So we have on the painting table right here, finished models. These are the two that I was able to paint over the last couple weeks. Really busy with getting the fiance moved in and my birthday and just, you know, moving furniture around, so I only was able to get two models painted. But they did take a considerable amount of time each to get painted, and I'll describe what they are. So these are for my fiance's Sisters of Battle army, and the whole theme for the army is just basically what things that she likes. So for the first squad we painted was a Care Bears themed Sacrosanct squad because she really enjoys the Care Bears. And so for this one, she really likes the show She-Ra on Netflix, the more recent version that was done by DreamWorks. She really likes that show, and I watched all the seasons of it with her, and it's a pretty good show too. So I enjoyed it. And then she also likes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from all different versions from when she was a kid. And so the whole army is kind of themed after. We have a whole huge list of like Batman. She's more of a DC over Marvel, so we got Batman themed. We've got Thundercats, more She-Ra, and so on and so forth. And it's like Sailor Moon and random things like that kind of scattered around. Might end up getting some Full Metal Alchemist in there as well. But yeah, let's kind of go through it. So this one, this knight, it's got a bunch of magnets. It's fully magnetizable. So the weapons come off, the different arms come off, and the top magnet for the missile pod that swaps out. And so this one, let's see if I can just bring it in a little closer. I'm gonna move the camera so I can slide in here a little better. All right. So yeah, it's all the different weapons. They're hot swappable. The torso is actually magnetized. Let me pop it off. So torso is magnetized on the bottom. As far as how I did this or what the magnets I used, I just Googled magnetizing Imperial Knight, and there's a website. If I can find it, I'll link it below if I can remember where it is, but it's not too hard to find. It's like a blog website that kind of shows the different magnet dimensions, but I believe that one is in metric, which was, if you're in America, getting metric magnets is not super hard, but there's a difference in how imperial magnets, like how imperial measurements and fractions are done versus how metric magnets are sized. So it depends on where you're sourcing them from. So either, I'm pretty sure I just went and followed the blog, but I think the Magnet Baron, not a sponsor, but I think he might also have some stuff. But for this one, we wanted to just go simple. We got the Melta for the secondary. We got the thermal cannon, I think is what they call it, and the chainsword. And then got the rocket pod on top. I think it's the Iron Hail rocket pod, I'm not sure. But it's the one that does a little bit more damage for less shots. And so it is based upon the character in the show She-Ra. It's based upon Emily, which is a robot. I actually named, if you look here, let's see if it'll focus. So we have Emily on the little badge there. Decided not to have the banner that goes between the legs because the banner that goes between the legs kind of just gets in the way. And I wasn't 100% sure how I wanted to paint it, but we got the scratches from the show. We have some first one writing. If you ever watched the show She-Ra, it's in the cartoon. It's a cartoon, but it's still a pretty good show. The first ones have their own sort of writing style, so this is all freehand. This was a little difficult to do, but I figured it out. The whole model was oil washed, and it worked out in some areas, not in other areas. But I think overall it's pretty good. And then on this shoulder, we have the symbol for the Horde, which is a key enemy in the show. And then we have a symbol on this arm, which you can't see very well. Let me see if I can lift it out of the glare. See if I can get it to focus. Come on. There we go. That freehand as well was a bit much. That is another character symbol. So if you're familiar with the show She-Ra, then that symbol will make a lot more sense. But The color scheme, basically, just because the robot is mostly a green with some pinks, and kind of went for a little bit more muted, kind of kept the highlights down. Very simple, but it did take quite a while. I think that probably took me like, I don't know, like a week or so to get this done and painted. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Base is very simple. Kind of trying to match the rest of the theme for the army, so a little alien tufts grass, and then we went with a desert sand base, then painted it gray, then dry brushed it up some lighter gray, then we washed it with both purple and blue, kind of mixed together. So blue in certain areas, purple in other areas, and then I went with lighter gray dry brushing, and then I put these little tufts in there. So I think it works out pretty well. And that's the theme for the army if they don't have graveyard bases. Then obviously do the rim. So we got the knight looking nice, and it's magnetized to where I have all the other options for this class of knight. So I have the gauntlet, I have the Gatling cannon, but the other parts aren't painted, mostly just because I don't really foresee using those other pieces, but they are available. They are ready to be thrown on there if needed. And we have a castigator. Currently, the army only has one castigator. I was originally going to go with the with the auto cannons to keep it cheap, but went with the battle cannon, kind of mostly just because there's not a lot of high strength T9 in the army. I think it's Strike 9. So there's not a lot of high strength cannons, and with 10th edition coming around, I kind of thought a high strength gun would have been really good. And I think it fits pretty well. This is based upon the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed van in the show, where it has a green top, also has a green front, but I went with that. But the rest of the van is yellow, and I went with the 4 turtle colors on these little icons here. So for here we have Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello. I think. Hopefully I didn't get that wrong. I think I got it right. Is the purple one Donatello? I got it now. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Material. Here. I gotta look this up. I don't want to be done. Leonardo. Yeah, Leonardo is the blue one. I got it right. Aha! And then we have on the back, we got for brown and silver. So silver is for Shredder, and brown is for Splinter. Splinter is brown. Yeah. So we got Splinter for brown and silver for Shredder. So I'm having a day. I'm having a morning. It's a thing. But made it so the little guns on the side are still movable. So that's good. Tank turret's movable. Well, it's a little painted in there, but still movable. Paint is pretty simple. The yellow is just Averland Sunset with a yellow wash on, like a yellow pin wash. And then I did some edge highlights with a Uriel yellow, I believe it is. This model did take a lot of time to get painted, and I went for a fluorescent pink for the little flames. So works out. A little fluorescent magenta. I think it's Vallejo fluorescent magenta. But yeah, so those are the 2 models I painted. Let's kind of zoom on over to what I'm working on.
All right, on the painting table, we got ourselves an Astraeus. Got this guy all sub-assembled, got all the different legs parts sitting over there on their own individual cork pieces. And this took a while. My fiance was asking me, like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I was like, I don't really nothing I really want to do. And there's no like things that I need as like a present. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna, how about for my birthday, I'm going to just like build a model I haven't built, something that's in my backlog, some kind of big showcase piece. And it was between this, the plasma Baneblade, and a custom Baneblade that I have. I have all the parts for it, but I just haven't got around to it. And so I did a little poll, and the Astraeus won. Now, unfortunately, so when it comes to models this size, at first when you're like, oh yeah, this won't take me very long, it comes in a Titan box. If you guys didn't know that, so it comes in the same box as a Titan, which should lead to tell you that this project's going to take multiple days, if not multiple weeks. So I was going to start this on my birthday, but I hadn't finished the Castigator. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to like start a project when I'm halfway through painting a project. So I finished painting the Castigator. That took me another day and a half. And then finally, because my birthday was on a Thursday, I think finally Saturday evening, I started to work on this. And then over the last week, I've been clipping out bits, sanding things down, getting everything glued together, getting all the sub-assemblies ready, magnetizing all the different weapon options, so all the side sponsons are all magnetized. And yeah, excuse me. So got all that done. What we're going to do next, though, is we're going to do gap filling, because this model from GW has so many bubbles, and also the gap lines are terrible on this model. Let me show you. So like, this is supposed to be a seamless join, and it is so full of gaps. Like all along the side here, this all needs to be gap filled. That all needs to be gap filled. These little pipe pieces were too long, and like I don't even think heating them down is going to work. So I had to snap them and pin them back together on both sides. So there's some gap fill right there that needs to go in there. Yeah, some definite gap filling here needs to be done. So this model has a lot of gap fill work. Not to mention, like, just individual parts. Let me get this back on the stand. So the gap filling on the hull is bad. I think on the gun, there's some just a few bubbles here and there. Let me see. Yeah, it's got some bubbling, but for multiple hundreds of dollars for this model, there's a lot of bubbles throughout the whole bit. So I got it set up. We're going to get to it today. Start with the getting out the Milliput, getting all mixed together, and start basically going around and using our shaping tools and everything to get it all squared away. But yeah. But before I wrap it up, let me kind of walk around and show you different areas of the house. Anyways, so this is where the painting area is now. Moved it over to the front living room area. We got my older computer up there and a monitor. Those aren't hooked up, mostly just because the older computer, I don't really use it all that much, but I will be swapping it out. I'm going to be getting a new gaming computer. My current gaming computer is going to swap over to here. And then we might be using it for some streams, which would be pretty nice. Anyways, the painting desk is the same desk that I had before. It's from Eaton. It's not sponsored. They're more of an industrial work center desk. But this one right here, over here, now that's kind of cleared off, this is going to be the desk where my fiance can do any of her crafts, painting. We've been talking about maybe getting a Seraphon army, and that'll be like the first army that she paints. That's been like an idea. And then I got my painting racks finally put back on the wall. The colors are not organized. Which is fine. I just kind of threw them up there. I'll organize them as I go along. But yeah, so we got this kind of table set over in the corner. Now, there were a bunch of display cabinets right here. So one of those display cabinets ended up over here. So we got our Mordian Iron Guard and some Tau and some other Imperial Guard in this cabinet. And then moving back over here, we have our Atlantean spears. Now the Astraeus is going to go on top of here, on top of the cabinet. We got Old Faith and Fire. Reading through that book. We got our Atlantean spears in here. We got some more Chaos Space Marine stuff and some Nurgle stuff and some Khorne stuff working over here. And then these are basically the cabinets we had before. So Talar and all the other models that we're working on, things that need to get painted. Sisters of Battle, it's Mage of Sigmar. Got our table over here, looking nice. And yeah, so moving on over, we moved this cabinet over to here. Kind of blocking the window a little bit, but I needed to anchor it to the wall. So got some more metal models in there. Got Steel Legion. I ordered some Steel Legion, so those are on their way. But what we did to the living room is I got 2 desks. So these are from Uline. They're packing desk, but they're the right depth, because most computer desks that you get these days are like 23 to 28 inches deep. I wanted a desk that's 6 feet long and that's at least 30 inches deep. So that's what these are. So they're packing desks, but we got the laminated top, also not a sponsor. But right now we have the 75-inch TV on top of her desk. So this is where her desk is going to be. What we're going to do is I'm actually going to downscale, because this is an older TV. It's still 4K, but it has issues. Some of the smart features on the TV are really slow. I've cleared out the cache multiple times, and we still have issues with playback. And it's one of the first generations. I think this TV was from 2017, so it's kind of showing its age. It's still fine if you have it hooked up to a computer or hooked up to a PlayStation. It works great. So as a display, I'm just going to swap it out. I'm going to get a 65-inch TV. We're going to wall mount the 65-inch TV above the desk, because her monitors are much smaller than mine. But I want to be able to put her gaming computer on the desk, not on the floor, and then have her monitors there. And then above her monitors, we're going to wall mount the TV so we can sit on the couch. Now, the couch, my couch is going to get swapped out. She has a much nicer couch setup that she's bringing here in a couple months. It's currently in storage, but we got the TV right now for now with a PlayStation. But my computer setup is still rocking it. We got a UPS down there for the internet and the Wi-Fi, keeping all that working out. We got our UPS for a computer, and some of our monitors are plugged into the UPS as well. But they're not plugged on the battery backup. Only the computer. The battery backup plugs are only for the computer and the Wi-Fi and the modem, but everything else is just plugged in. So yeah. So this allows us to, what it'll be is allow us to sit down on the couch. We'll be able to watch TV on the wall-mounted TV, and then she'll either be able to play console games, or I'll be able to play console games while she's doing whatever. And we can watch movies together here in the living room, watch shows together, or we can just game right next to each other. The only concern, and it hasn't happened yet, but it is a possible concern, is over current draw. So if you have 2 high-end gaming computers on the same breaker, there could be breaker issues. So we'll see how that works out. If we never trip the breaker, we're good to go. If we trip the breaker, then I'm going to have to call an electrician out to maybe install a new breaker line over here somewhere, so we can still hang out together, which would be ideal. Obviously, we can move our gaming areas into different rooms, but so far I've had all the electronics on, and nothing has shorted out the breaker, so we're good. It should be fine. Even with my, it's a little older computer, but it's still got a 2080 Ti. It still pulls quite a bit of power. It's got a Threadripper in there, so we're still pulling a decent amount of wattage. But so far, so good. We haven't tripped any breakers yet, but that is a concern that could happen. But yeah, so we'll move back over to the tripod. All right, showed you around how I changed up the setup, how I moved all the different benches and tables around to kind of maximize space and maximize time with my fiance. And yeah, she'll be back soon, so I miss her. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So I'm going to be painting the Astraeus as Atlantean Spears. And I think I may have mentioned that earlier in the video, but just to clarify, it will be Atlantean Spears. And it'll be the same basic color scheme to this repulsor here. Same with the base, with the Astrogranite gray base. I'm really liking the base is kind of being the moon gray, really ashy planets or whatever. And yeah, we'll be doing it like the repulsor. And I think it's going to look pretty cool. Will it ever see? It'll probably see a battle report on the channel. I don't know who it'll face against. I don't have enough models to do
a good game of Catachans versus Atlantean Spears. But if we can get the Catachan squared away, then maybe we could do that. I did pick up some more Catachan models, but right now I don't think I have enough for. I could probably do a 2,000 point list. It would definitely be. Well, it's obviously going to be open war, but it definitely would have more than 2 aircraft because I have a lot of aircraft in my Catachan army. But that would be the only thing I could do. So it probably wouldn't be super one-sided. I have an idea though that would be kind of cool, where you have all these different aircraft, more than 2. So I have 4 Valkyries, I have a Marauder destroyer. So we can start with just those and have them on an airstrip parked. And then if you get a unit, if you get a squad, or at least you get one model to the aircraft, now you can use that aircraft in the game. And it just starts like where it was. And then like, you're like, okay, so if you reach the aircraft in the movement phase, so let's say if you reach the aircraft, it is now like on the table as it is. So it's like in hover mode. So obviously it would go from being grounded. I would put it on its flying stand. But if you've already moved that turn, it can't move, but it can fire. So it would still be able, obviously be able to like turn it and pivot it a little bit. But it wouldn't count as moving. But it would still, you wouldn't be able to do any movement. You'll be able to shoot with it. So I think that'd be kind of cool. Little house rule gameplay. So, kind of like a rush for the airport. I have Angron. Angron does need to get painted. I forget where I put him, but he's in one of the cabinets. If I can get Angron painted, then I have a full 2,000 point World Eater army, so we can do another battle report with World Eaters versus the Atlantean Spears. But we'll have to figure it out. Or we can do World Eaters versus Catachans, however I want to do that. We'll figure it out. It might not be till 10th edition. Might be just right before 10th edition starts. We'll do the next battle report, but it will be a little bit. I still have a lot more work to do. But aside from that, if you want to support me, like, comment, subscribe, and then follow my Instagram if you really want to see what I'm working on painting-wise. I always post my Instagram first. I always do reels on my Instagram more than posting pictures, just because I kind of like the video, because you get a little bit more from the video than you do from still pictures. I don't do a lot of shorts on YouTube because the quality of shorts is really low. Like I can film a really nice video on a short, and on Instagram it looks great, but on YouTube the shorts always compress low, even if I'm watching shorts on my desktop, so it's really bad. So I'm not really, I like YouTube videos versus YouTube shorts. Yeah, but follow my Instagram. You can obviously do the YouTube stuff. And if you want to support me, you can buy my book. It's on ebook. It's about $1, I think $1 to $2, somewhere around there. And on paperback, it's somewhere a little bit above $10. It's like 15 or so for the paperback, but that covers the cost of the paper because they print to demand. So as you order it, they print it, and you get it within a few days. Aside from that, I hope you have a good one, and I will talk to you later. Goodbye.